there has been a train collision and derailment in the subway. This happened just a short time ago at 96th Street and Broadway.
Now, police tell us an MTA work train collided with a northbound number 1 train carrying passengers between 96th and 103rd Street. So far, we know there are at least 8 minor injuries. Just a short time ago, we spoke with a passenger who described the moment that they knew something was wrong.
The train starts shaking very hard, and then we feel like the train is going fully down to the left side, right? And the train stopped. So we figured out they had an accident. So the train on the other side, it was the train, like I hit the train that we are on board. So the train was like sliding like this, little bit.
All of a sudden, we just felt like a loud boom. Everybody on the train kind of like swayed back and forth crazily, and it was a loud explosion, and all of a sudden, the train stopped. Kind of smoke was coming in through the car. It was insane. It was super nerve-wracking.
So we figured out they had an accident. So the train on the other side, it was the train, like I hit the train that we are on board. So the train was...
to safely get out of the train and out of the subway platform there. We can tell you that the MTA is now telling us that there is no service to the 1, 2, and 3 lines, which will obviously now have a big impact on the evening commute. Riders are being told to take the A, B, C, and D trains as an alternative. An MTA spokesperson also told CBS 2 News that there will be a news briefing. However, they were not able to pinpoint a time as of yet. But once again, this happened just a short time ago at the 96th Street and Broadway subway station. We're told a train collision and derailment on the subway happened. We're not hearing of any serious injuries so far, but clearly those passengers were shaken. One saying it was a loud boom. They also saw smoke on the train.
And a lot of questions here. For one thing, we're describing this as a collision, but what does that mean? If you listen to those 2 women who were speaking, those 2 people who were speaking, it almost sounded like she said the train may have been brushed by a work train. We're looking at video right now, and that number 1 train looks as if part of it is in the tunnel, part of it is in the subway stop. But either way, at this time of day, and these are live pictures, I'm told, right now of the scene at 96th and Broadway, either way, this is going to be a massive problem for the commute, the afternoon commute. I mean, you've got the 1, 2, and 3. I understand the 4 and 5 trains share tracks with these trains, and that means there could be trouble. Obviously, they've got to shut down power. Before they do anything, they're going to shut down power. It's not clear, were people having to be gone out onto the tracks and come back into the station, or did they walk the length of the train as it appears and maybe were just back in the subway station?
Absolutely. So once again, our crews are just arriving to the scene. Here is one of our cameras that has now been set up right outside. It looks as though right outside of the subway station at 96th and Broadway. Just judging from the activity that we see here, from this vantage point, rather, we don't see any rescues there at the scene, and we also see a lot of the emergency personnel not appearing to be in a huge rush, which is always a good sign. So once again, we are not hearing of any serious injuries, but nothing has been able to be confirmed at this early hour.
And as Christine says, it doesn't look like a tremendous sense of urgency that we often see at these scenes. If there is anything life-threatening, it certainly doesn't appear at this moment. Another thing about what the woman said in that interview was she's saying the train shook when it hit the other train, meaning perhaps there wasn't a smack collision that sent people flying, and which could have caused more injuries.
Absolutely. Let's go to the phones now. Joining us is Robert Paswell, a professor at City College of New York and also director of the University Transportation Research Center. Professor, thanks so much for joining us and helping us gain some insight. Just judging from what we know so far, what you've been able to hear during our broadcast, what are your initial thoughts about first responders and their priorities as of right now?
Well, I know very little from what's on the web or from what I've heard, but it can't be that serious if there isn't more than what you said. People are responding slowly. It sounded like one train collided with a work train and which is unusual because work trains usually have either flag people or people with lights in front and back. So to let them know that there are work trains and not usual commuting trains on the track. But from what MTA has online, it says that people are being evacuated and the service is being suspended, which is tough for me because I take the one train home every day from 135th Street. So.
You know, there are so many elements of an evacuation like this. Professor Paswell, you sit there and say, if people had to get out of the car and get down on the tracks, or, as we were discussing before, perhaps they walked the length of the train and just merely got back, as it appears it may have been, on the 96th Street station. It must be an awfully daunting thing, and we're looking at FDNY right now, firefighters, rescue workers, for a situation like this, even when it appears there are only minor injuries. Just how challenging can it be?
Well, first place, train crews are trained, and first responders are trained to use train a lot, to evacuate people off of subways or buses or any kind of vehicle. And you want to do it in an orderly way, and trains are linear, so it's very easy. It's an easy thing to say, but it's a relatively simple thinking kind of task to line people up and have them walk slowly out of the car. The power's turned off. You don't have to worry about contact with a third rail, and you usually have train personnel leading them up to the platform and out to safety. And if anybody has injuries, there are usually medical people around to treat them immediately.
Now, judging, it sounds as though, and again, this is all just initial reports that we're hearing. Until we hear directly from MTA officials, we're now just trying to figure out and put the pieces of the puzzle here together with the information that we have. But if this train was actually pulling in to the station at 96th and Broadway, what is the typical speed that the train is going at that time?
When it's pulling in, it's slowing down. So it's slowing down from maybe outside the station, something in the 20s, to almost zero. I mean, the throttle's off, the brakes are on, and the trainman is coming in into the station. So by the time they stop, they've gone from maybe 15 miles an hour to nothing, actually in a very short period, because I'm sure we've all stood by the platform and the train seems to become whizzing in. But you remember, you have a loud train in a short space in a crowded tunnel. It makes a lot of noise, and it always appears to be going just a little faster than it is. But they're coming in maybe 15, 20 miles an hour and then slowing down in the space. A station is a couple of blocks long in the space of less than a block.
Just to recap for everyone who's joining us now, please tell us an MTA work train collided with a northbound #1 train, made contact. We're not sure just what this was. It was carrying passengers between 96th and 103rd Street. So far, we know there are at least 8 minor injuries. And passengers described a moment where the train shook, where they felt smoke was coming in. And I have to ask you, Professor Paswell, what are the questions that are in your mind right now? What are you saying is not right about this, and what perhaps are investigators looking at right now?
The only question that I have in mind, having, as you know, run the Chicago transit system years and years ago, is that why was the work train not recognized by the other train, or why did the work train? Now, I don't know which is which because there's no information. But usually with the lights and the flag people and workers on the tracks, those kinds of collisions are very, very rare. In fact, any kind of collisions in the train are rare. That's why they're big news events, because the subways are safe, and it's very rare to see this.
Yeah, I was going to say, it would appear we don't have this happen very often, but the impact must have been somewhat significant when you hear the word derail. It goes from brushing, contact, and derail. That would have had to have been some sort of impact, correct?
Well, it could have. You have to remember that there's a big switch at 96th Street, where the 1 continues north and the 2 and 3 veer off to the east to go to the east side of New York. So it could have happened over a switch too. A slight collision, and the flange of the wheel gets caught, and then the train derails. So it doesn't take that much of an impact to make that happen.
And we're only about an hour out of this, so there's a long way before this can all be sorted out. And perhaps at some point, a few hours from now, the trains could get going again, but it's going to be quite the mess this afternoon.
I'm going to take a bus home.
Oh, boy. Sorry about that, Professor.
Definitely the better option there, Professor, because this is certainly going to have a domino effect on the evening commute. We do appreciate your time. We are going to wrap up our coverage here on CBS 2 and rejoin Hot Bench, but in the meantime we will be continuing our coverage at CBS News New York online streaming, so do stay with us. The MTA says that they will have a briefing for us and an update at the top of the hour at 5 p.m. when our normal newscast will begin. You can also go to cbsnewyork.com for any updates. Thanks for joining us. Now back to regular programming.
This has been breaking news.